Hey, fifth grade, for our poetry lesson today, we're going to be reading the poem entitled Deer Print. It was written by a seventh grader named Ben. I'm going to go ahead and click on the poem so you can be looking at it. And then I'm going to walk through it with you. Ben, a seventh grader, wrote a poem about something that he didn't see. But because he uses such sensory language to invent such concrete detail, we get to see what he didn't. More importantly, we get to feel what Ben felt. Follow along with me as I read Deer Print. Deer print, a soft indentation, 2 toes, marks the ground, a blank reminder of what has been here before me. I tried to feel amazed, to marvel at this muddy imprint, to feel lucky at my chance notice, but I want to see the deer. Steam streaming from her nostrils as she stares at me, thin legs threatening to give way, small brown head trembling in the cold. I want to see her bound away, her tail high in the air, her 2-toed hooves marking the ground. All right, kiddos. Today for your assignment, you're going to go back into this sensory poem, highlight and comment all the phrases and lines that you can see and the ones that you can like or that you like also. So the ones that are so descriptive that you can see what the poet's describing, that's what you're going to go in and highlight and comment about. So this part, a soft indentation, 2 toes, I can see that. I can see that in what was once mud, but now has hardened. I can see that deer print. And the reason that I can see it is because I've seen one before. But Ben gives me details that allows that background knowledge to connect to this poem. Therefore, I can see it, even though I can see it because I have that background knowledge and because the description allowed for that connection. I don't know where I was going with that other than that. So I would put, I can see this. And then if I wanted to explain my thinking, I would say something like, I have seen a deer print before. And Ben did a good job describing it. And then I would hit comment. Now you're going to continue to go through the poem line by line and highlight the phrases and words that you can see and then explain your thinking on that. That's what I'm looking for on this poem. But I want to draw your attention to a few more things that are present in this poem. One of the features that I'd like you to notice is the strong sensory nouns, verbs, and adjectives. Obviously, you guys are looking for one that appeals to sight, but there's a lot there. And we've been writing poems, and you guys know that good writers rely on those kinds of details in order to allow their reader to be present in whatever they're writing or whatever they're sharing with them. So you can see that at work here. There's alliteration going on in this poem. Alliteration is the repetition of a consonant sound. And so if you look at this line here, to marvel at this muddy imprint, the "ma" sound is being repeated. Therefore, you get the effect of alliteration. And then you also see steam streaming from her nostrils. That "sta" sound has been repeated in this line right here. Something else, there's other examples of alliteration as well, but something else that I want you to think about is that Ben didn't really see the deer. What he saw was the deer print. But the way that he describes what he saw, it's as if the deer was there. And you get the idea that Ben has seen a deer before. And so he sees the print, but then he visualizes that print being made. He sees the deer and he describes that. And so because he does such a good job, we can see this we can experience this. The other thing that I want you to notice is that this poem moves in a circle. It begins with Ben spying the two-toed hoof print and ends with him imagining the deer making the print as she bounds away. So you've read some circle stories before, I bet. Like if you give a mouse a cookie, in that story, the mouse starts out wanting a cookie, and then the story goes on, and he gets a cookie, and there's all this other stuff. It gets really involved, but then you end the story back where you started, and then the mouse is going to ask you for another cookie. So this poem has kind of a circle plot as well. If a poem has a plot, and sometimes it does if it's narrative, you start with the deer print, and then he describes the deer print or the deer, and then you end with the deer making the print and bounding away, leaving it for Ben to find on his nature walk. So I know that was a lot to take in, but this is one of my favorite poems, and I know that for many of you hunters, it's that time of year, and so you're going to be coming across those deer prints, and you're also going to be experiencing the real thing. And so I thought this was an appropriate poem for us at this point in the year, and I hope you guys are able to go out and enjoy those activities. So I love you guys. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be talking to you soon.